Hey everyone, welcome back to the Successful Lead Generating Coaches Show. This is Arfan, co-owner of Grow Automate Scale, where we help coaches leverage the power of Facebook advertising so they can reach their ideal client, increase their impact, and increase their income. And on today's episode, I want to just kind of give an update, what's been happening, what's kind of been going on. So today we're going to really talk about what's working in Facebook ads right now, 3 keys to boost ROAS. Also, a little update about us too as well. We had a really great holiday season, and coming out of it into January, we did a little vacation, a little early vacation. So, I think I shared in a previous episode we started homeschooling this year. So we had the opportunity to do a little trip where we were still able to, provide education while travel. So we visited Texas, got to meet a great friend, one of our coaches, and it was just a really, really awesome time. And during all this, we've been having some really, really awesome clients that we've been working with, and just leveraging ads to help them to reach more of their people online and to really just be able to help others, because as you guys a lot know, we work with a lot of life coaches, health coaches. If you're listening right now and you're one of those, you came across, because we work with you. And often the things that we're doing is not a product. It's not a product where we're selling a shirt or a keyboard, a mouse, a microphone, eyeglasses, wallets, or anything like that, or even a software, a web browser, or something you need to log in to do a daily activity, or for some work you do, or to run a part of your business. We're not, what we're doing is a transformation. And when you're selling a transformation, a total digital product, Facebook doesn't have a course on this. You can't go to facebook.com and be like, oh, let me see your course on how to run ads for my life coaching business, something like that. So, we've had to leverage marketing and advertising strategies that's been used for ages and decades from the great people, the great early marketers, and from those who are currently leveraging these platforms. So, but things change. Things don't stay the same. As we experienced iOS 14.5 a few years ago, it really changed the landscape for Facebook ads for a lot of marketers, a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants, because they really shifted a lot of reporting. Because a lot of us, we operate in a very long-term game type of marketplace, where we have to reach a lead, nurture a lead before they want to become a client. Even with the launch process, taking about 8-12 weeks in the launch process. And when Facebook shifted more like a quick type of things, like e-commerce, everyone took a hit from it, of course, but coaches especially, it started becoming a little bit tougher to get a high return on ad spend, to even get a ROAS period. Felt a lot harder. And one of the reasons why is because reporting wasn't there. You go from a 90-day reporting down to 7 days, where you're missing so much. And now 90 days was a very, very long time ago. It went from 90 days down to 28 days, down to 7 days. So the reporting it was already inaccurate, and it went down from 90 days to 7 days. So you lost a lot of time for seeing what a lead actually does. So it becomes so much more important now to do a lot of these different things. So what's working right now in Facebook ads, right? Let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. And hope if you're listening right now, if you've had a great start to your 2025. If you ran a launch and you've used ads, you've used one of my strategies, I would love to hear how it went. Hit reply, let me know how that went for you. Good or bad, I want to hear it all, because sometimes we run a launch and different things happen. Ads don't work, or ads do work, or a webinar doesn't work, or a challenge doesn't work, or it does work. So I want to hear the good and the bad, hear it all. But wins and opportunities, in other words. So, all right, so what's working right now? I want to focus on 3 key areas where I've narrowed this down, looked at a lot of different things, and I was like, okay, how can I narrow this down? Because there's obviously a lot of stuff that's working, a lot of stuff that's not working, and it's also a little bit different depending on your business model. If you're if you're focus solely on high ticket and you have no low ticket at all, or if you're more like, hey, I got quite a variety of low ticket and I have mid ticket products, but I don't really have a high ticket, your approach may be a little bit different. But a lot of these, so I was like, okay, let me just kind of go with the bigger picture of it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your creatives and your messaging, and really why right now it is more important than ever, right? So messaging has always been important. We know this. It's super, super important. Ad creative, same thing too as well. But there was a period of time where we could have got away with missing the mark a bit, because on Facebook we're able to do detailed interest targeting. We get really specific to our ideal client, and we could say, hey, just show this to this people, and Facebook would. But a lot of that's changed to where they now it's become more of a suggestion of a target audience rather than I only want you to show it to these people, because Facebook leverages a big part of their algorithm, we call AI now, to where they're going to just shift and they're going to show your ad to who they feel is going to potentially convert. So that it's really become a lot more important now more than ever, because if back in not even that long ago, or even currently now, some clients still do this, to where if you're trying to target a certain individual, let's say you're trying to target someone who is a professional working mom, they have like 2 children, things like that, you could have gotten very specific with how you set your targeting, that I want to target those who are between 40 to 50, who mother, have two kids, things like that, parent, and you could have really only showed this to people who were moms. Now the algorithm doesn't necessarily do that; it shows it to other people. So someone who's not a mom is going to see it, and this is the people opting out of being tracked. So their personal data is not really being as well. It's a great thing; it's not being shared. So, or they're not really getting customized ads showing up to them. So they're getting generic type of ads. So the marketplace, the landscape in which we advertise has shifted. So your creatives now have to really make sure that you're calling out your ideal clients in your creative and in your ad copy and the messaging, rather than so much like, I'm going to focus on my offer and what I'm going to do, and my targeting is going to find the people for me. Well, you got a little shift in that. The creatives of the messaging now has to really include that too as well, in the hooks especially. And we've seen that work really great for helping us with our launches, for getting a lot more higher quality leads coming in, because now we're seeing that they're more in alignment. Since making a big shift on that too, we've noticed that our show rates have gone up a bit. So there was a period where during like pandemic, everything was shut down, show rates were great for everybody. Challenges were awesome, mini series, webinars, attendance was there, and then slowly but surely that shifted, and attendance and all that has dropped quite a bit. And there's different things to do, but one thing is we've always seen is that if the offer is right for the client and they were like, hey, I really need this help, or I really want to learn this, they'll show up for it. So this is where the creative message really comes in, because we see show price go down. That's a big indicator that, hey, something's not in alignment, because someone really wants what they're signing up for. They're going to show up for it, and you're going to get a higher show up rate, at least better than like a 10%, 15%, right? Again, a 20, 30, 40, 45% show up rates, things like that's where we want to be. So creative messaging is really important. Something simple to do is when you're doing your video ads, just in the opening part of the hook, is have some sort of identifier or descriptor is what you call your ideal client. So easy for me, I can just say, hey, coaches, right? I can ask the question if you're, or say it's like if you're an online coach, it's very simple. Sometimes if you're doing, depending on the type of coaching you're doing, or if you're helping is broader, you're not really focusing just on a one super defined niche, maybe it could be a little tougher. But the more defined in a niche you are, this should be pretty simple to do that. And you can start off that, and that just gets their attention right away, and you start getting a little bit more higher quality leads coming. Okay, so that's one. Creatives and messaging is more important than ever. What's working right now is to really include capturing your audience in there. And I'm talking about cold traffic. Okay, if you're retargeting to warm traffic, obviously you don't need to do that because people already have a recognition of your brand. But cold traffic, make sure you're calling your ideal client out as quick and as early and as soon as possible in the creatives and in the messaging. Okay. The next thing, and I've alluded to this in the previous with the messaging, is that audience has changed. Okay, the Facebook algorithm has evolved, and is favoring broader targeting with, like, better creatives, strong creatives over this like hyper specific audience slices, to where you can have a subpar graphic, but you're giving a solution, and the solution is great. Your offer is awesome. Like, you're really helping people. So you're getting signups, but now because a lot of that's moving away, and they're just kind of going this broader approach to where they're going to be looking at your creatives, your copy, your landing pages to really show your ad to the most ideal people. You really have to put a bigger focus on us. The audience has changed a bit. They call it Advantage, the Advantage Plus. You've probably seen this quite a bit. Advantage Plus has a lot of pros and cons depending on your industry and niche, and also because Advantage Plus covers a broad spectrum of things, because you have Advantage Plus campaigns where you just build your entire ad campaign using like Facebook's AI. Well, they'll just kind of like create an ad for you. You can literally have them do that, and obviously you have to really be specific and like maybe edit quite a bit. And I've explored it. It was just so much extra had to go into that. It wasn't worth it right now. I'm hoping that one day that can really evolve into something that is pretty awesome. But for right now, it's something that it just hasn't been hitting the mark. Hopefully that it will. So you have Advantage Plus. You have this on the budget, right? So that's one. You have it on the budget. Now you have it on the audience selection. So Advantage Plus audiences. Then you have it on the placements. Where do you want your ads to show? Newsfeed, stories. It's all on there. Then you have Advantage Plus on your images and graphics, if you want them to tweak and edit your copy or your images. So it covers quite a bit. And some of them that's doing really good is like the ones where they show the relevant comments. So this is really cool, because if you have a good ad and you're getting some engagement, people are like, oh, this is awesome, I want to sign up, or just like I'm in, that you're going to see those comments show up versus seeing like comments of trolls or people who are hating. So that's a great one. That's one of the wins. Advantage Plus for the budget, I also like that a lot. I found that especially in the accounts we run, where we already have a history, we already have established audiences that we tested that we know works really good, established creatives and things like that, or even a launch we know, we're able to use it to really get some awesome results. Okay, so that is audiences, and I can't stress it enough. They're going broader, and you got to really focus more on your messaging and what you're offering. The hyper-specific audience slices are kind of going away. We still have access to a bit of it. It's not what it used to be. It's still a little fuzzy, to where they'll still show it to other people, but it's slowly phasing away, and hopefully it doesn't go away completely, because that would, only focusing on broad will be very much like completely, there'll be no specificity to the ad audiences whatsoever. So hopefully it doesn't do that. But we're seeing some good things happening though, as some of these changes are being implemented. Okay. The next thing is what's working is this is really just not necessarily on the ad itself, but the funnel. Okay, so when we use ads, what we're doing is we're really just adding traffic to something that we want to generate revenue for, right? So we have a sales funnel that we want to drive traffic to. Otherwise, we're not going to get any revenue out of it. So what I'm seeing right now, some of these funnels have been doing really well for advertising. And you may have heard this is this called like self-liquidating offers. So I call it a self-liquidating funnel. And self-liquidating offer is, the offer itself is such a low cost that if you run ads, it should liquidate, it should pay for itself. Now, in my experience over the years, I've had only a handful of clients who've ever created a product that had enough of a market demand to where it was a complete break even, or they got a return on ad spend. So what I've done during this process, though, as I've seen this, what I started doing, and even with my own funnel and those of our clients, is we know that we have some lead magnets that convert really well. So what we actually do is we run a lead magnet. So this is just general name and email. And then on the thank you page, we put this SLO offer. So we have the SLO offer on the thank you page, and it's a classic funnel approach. It still works because I want to communicate with you and give you something free, something you need, something you want. We all want tools, templates, tips, strategies. It's a never-ending thing. We're always gonna want this, right? Whether we go someplace and we get it, or we see it online and we sign up for it. So it's a proven strategy. It works, and it works awesome, and the system is designed for it to work. And if you work the system, you will get really great results. So the classic approach would be lead magnet, thank you page, and then go into email sequence, right? That is like a way to, you get leads, but you're going to be spending a whole lot of ad spend before you get a return. You're going to be looking at a return over 6 to 12 months or more from those leads, and that's emailing them 2-3 times a week. You got to do a lot of nurturing to do like a basic funnel. So what I recommend is doing a lead magnet with an offer, and have a nice offer that you can charge something like around $27 or $37 on there. And what this does, this also lets us to now identify better converting audiences. Because if you have an offer that's $27-$37, someone signs up for your freebie, name, email address, you pay $3-4 for the lead, or less or more, whichever, and then they purchase a $37 offer. And if you're running and you're testing like 5 or 6 different targeting options, including a broad targeting, and you're seeing that you're getting checkouts and sales from one audience, well, there that's where you're getting a lot of buyers. That's where your return's coming from. And then we take this a step further, and that depending on your system, you can add an order bump. And this is where we see the return comes from. This is where we see a break even comes from, is where you have a good order bump that, anyone that purchased, about 20, 30, up to like 50% of people will take you up on that order bump, because it just makes sense. And then lastly, if you're able to add an upsell or two at the end of it, so as soon as before they finalize that, finalize everything completely, there's another upsell to something that's going to help them out. And these are a little bit more microscopic transactions, or a little low ticket. So that's why I said your approach may be a little different if you only do high ticket. If you're like, I'm just a high ticket, I don't have nothing low ticket, then you're probably looking at banking off of like webinar funnels, or like a VSL or something like that, more so than just like a lead magnet that goes into an email nurture sequence that maybe go into book a call. You probably want to just do like a lead magnet directly into a VSL, directly into book a call, versus just a plain blank thank you page or something like that. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing work right now. Of course, you probably see me share a lot about webinar funnels, webinar live or automated. I think over time, I've seen these outperform a lot of the other type of launches in terms of the outcome and the effort that's involved with it, to where if you're able to, if your ideal prospects are aware enough of the problem and the solution, that you most likely would be best to focus on developing a webinar that can attract your ideal client, give them the knowledge and information they need, and convert them to a paying client, versus looking at doing something like a challenge or anything that's longer than that. Because if you think about it, and I've experienced this, my clients who do challenges they're able to do a challenge once, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. That's it. But when we do webinars, some clients do a live webinar every month, and a lot of traction. We get 500-600 leads to show up every month, and we're able to do that more consistently. Trying to do a challenge every month is a daunting task, right? So look and see where where your ideal client is, and if a webinar can really fit. One of my mentors, Ane Singhal, my mentor, he said that a good webinar can change the trajectory of the business. Now, if you look at that, and why we say that is because, from my perspective, is when we run launches, and I'm behind the scenes, so I get to see this in numerous cases, to where we put $4 to $5K, or someone will put like a few $100s into a webinar, where they promote this organically. They got maybe 30 to 40, 50 people to sign up. Now they add a few $100 in there. Now they got over 100 people to sign up, and they're able to get something like a 10x return. Yeah, you put like $1,000 and you make 10K. That's a 10x return. You put 50K and you make 200K, it's only a 4x, and it's like, oh, with a 10x sounds better than a 4x, but I'm pretty sure in your bank account you would rather $150,000 versus $150,000 profit versus a 9K profit. So return on ad spend is one of those things you got to kind of look at it from a bigger perspective. So I hope this is helpful. This information is helpful. Just kind of dumping some thoughts that have been coming to me, and I really was sat here and just kind of saying, I think it's probably really good to see this, because I'm seeing, I do a lot of those calls, my Facebook as doctor calls, where meet up over Zoom, and I just fix up what's going on in your ad account, whether you have a banned account or your ads are rejected or you're not really getting good results. And I see so much of these things happen, and it's just a lack of of really knowing what's happening when you're just dabbling in ads yourself, or if you just have like a VA doing it for you, or you're just following more of like maybe an outdated approach or strategy in terms of ad graphics and ad creation and what's really working now to attract clients. I've seen a lot of these things happen, and little simple shifts in the campaigns that made some pretty good results. So again, thanks for tuning in today, sticking with me for this episode. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone. Give us a review on Apple. Don't forget to subscribe to the show too as well. And if you need support with your ads, if you're looking to do a launch, or you want to get like an audit, or just like look over your account, or let's maybe set up the ads together, whichever it may be. If you need a Facebook ads rescue, always just let me know, and I can just rfluency.com/rescue, and you can book that call, and we set up that 60-minute time slot. If you can't find a good time, just send me an email, rfon@growautomatescale.com. Or if you need support, you're like, hey, I just want someone to just take this over. I'm getting good traction. I really want to start cranking this up, scaling this up, putting a decent budget in there, getting an extra, maybe doubling or tripling the amount of leads coming into your launches, so you can scale your results, so you can get better, a bigger launch, get your launch a 6-figure, or take your 6-figure launch 7 figures. Let's set up a chat, see if we can work together. rfluency.com/start, and it's a free 30-minute complimentary call. What we do is we'll just take a look and see what your projections are for the upcoming year, how we could potentially help you to increase that with either our services, or leveraging Facebook ads, or taking over that management for you, so you no longer have to deal with that, plus running your business. rfluency.com/start. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And again, thanks for tuning in today. I'll catch you on the next episode. Have a great one.